Okay, let's make a start. So welcome everybody to our Lunch and Learn webinar series where we tell you all about what's going on here at iCompleat and how you can get the most out of your iCompleat subscription. Today's session, we will be covering the 12 days of Compleatmas. So we're just going to be going through 12 of the kind of new functions that have been delivered throughout this year, not in any particular order or not because they are the best of the bunch, just because we thought we'd bring them to your attention in case you hadn't seen any of the release notes that have come out throughout the year. Today we're excited to be sponsored by Brown's Books as our sponsor and a valued supplier in the Compleat ecosystem. Brown's Books is a trusted source of literary treasures for UK schools, offering a wide selection of books from timeless classics and contemporary bestsellers to specialised academic titles. With a passion for fostering literacy and lifelong learning, they provide quality leads that inspire, educate and engage diverse audiences. And by partnering with Brown Books, we're ensuring that our ecosystem has access to enriching literary resources that promote education, creativity and sustainable reading practices. So thank you to Brown's Books. So, as I said, we are going to be covering the 12 days of Compleatmas. Just to spice things up a bit, I'm going to obviously be showing you a demo of all of them, and I'm going to try and complete it in 12 minutes. So we'll see how well we do on that. For those who have been on these before, I can rattle on a bit, so we'll see how we go. Obviously, there's going to be the live demo. We'll have a quick look at the Compleat ecosystem, and then there'll be an opportunity to ask any questions, and we'll provide answers to as many as we can. This is obviously me. I'm a software implementation consultant here at Compleat Software, and I've been with the company now coming up to 7 years. And hopefully I've spoken to most of you. If not, I look forward to when I can. Just a little bit of housekeeping. So if you could ensure just all the microphones are off, obviously apart from mine. Any questions that you got in the chat window, you should see a Q&A box that is available for you to use and select. So if you could pop any questions into there, we'll get round to, as I said, answering as many as we can. And obviously we're recording this session, so you will all get a copy of this, but it will also be made available on the support website as well. So we are going to just unhide the slide that I think has accidentally been hidden, because I need to actually show that to you. So just bear with me. It doesn't seem to be coming up on my screen for some reason. Not to worry, let me drag it over this way. Apologies. So the 12 days of Compleatmas. So I'm going to be showing you, excuse me, in fact, let's start the timer. So in 12 minutes, we'll show you the access for admins to view all orders. Well, I can't actually show you that one. That's just a new default setting. All admin users now have the ability to view all orders. We'll talk a little bit more about that once I get the details up here. So yeah, administrators in iCompleat now have universal access to all orders in their company, irrespective of the order status and which tray they're currently sitting in. So this is something that was requested by quite a few of you. We're pleased to have been able to deliver that this year. We're going to look at better visibility of users with the export tool. We are going to look at how to lock order and invoice columns, so you can see your coding columns more easily. We're going to look at resetting the order grid. So if you do make any changes, how to reset the grid. Duplicate an order line in a snap, so I can show you how to duplicate a line order. We'll then go and have a look at the documents and timeline and see the changes that have been made to that over the past year. We will then move to the layouts, where I'll show you some of the one of the enhancements to the security settings is where you can free type codes in instead of having to select them one by one. It'll make more sense when we see that one. Order creator details available to integrated online buying suppliers. Again, unfortunately, that's not one I can show you, but know that when the order is sent to the suppliers, it will include the email address of the person who created that order. Turn off delivery date display on the purchase orders. I can show you that one, how to turn that delivery date off. Configuring event rules with date fields, we'll have a look at that. Events and actions, so select a range of conditions, I can show you that. And then a new piece of, or brand new piece of functionality that's only come in over the last few weeks is the catalogs. I can show you those as well. So let us go to the demonstration. So I have iCompleat already loaded up and ready to go here. So again, for those who have been on these before, as you know, this is my demo site, so you may not have all the options that I've got. Excuse me. Let me get my running list up and we will delve into what we can do. So as we said, administrators seeing all orders covered. So better visibility of users using the export tool. So for that one, we'll go to configuration and users, and we will now find there's an export button sitting up here. And what that export button will do, if we click onto there, that is going to export a list of all of your users into an Excel format. And if I just open this up, it will give you a spreadsheet where it is just that one stop shop, that one list, just getting Excel to load up. Come on. That one overall master list of all of your users, and it will also include the obviously email address, their name, their role, and their permissions as well. So you can get all of that into a spreadsheet now, as well as their password status as well. So instead of having to go through multiple pages, you can just download that list, and that will give you an instant view of who's got access to the system and who hasn't. And that's particularly handy for when auditors ask for it. So again, that was something that was requested by quite a few of you, so we're pleased to have put that one in. So that was item number 2. So moving on to item number 3, lock order and invoice columns for quick and easy editing. So for that one, I'm going to go to the create a new order side of things. And what we'll be presented with is our regular screen for creating a requisition. I'm just going to choose a layout because I've got multiple layouts on my site. And if we just pop in a title and a supplier so that we then open up the rest of the screen. So what you'll be familiar with is you can obviously go and add your lines, but depending on how many analysis fields you've got and whether you're zoomed in and multi-screen, etc., you probably find that you have to scroll across to get to your analysis columns. Now what you can do is you can lock these columns now. You can choose which ones, and if we have a look at the clicking on the 3 dots assist button, moving to set column position, we can lock column. And if I do that, what it does is it moves it to the very beginning of the line. So it's similar to Excel, it's frozen that column at the beginning. And we can then go and choose which other ones we want to lock as well. So the idea being that rather than having to scroll all the way across to the columns that you're potentially making or doing the most work on, you can just set them right at the very beginning, like so, and they're there already for you. So by locking them, they are permanently locked, and they will be there for the next time that you go in to create a requisition. So that is the locking of the columns. So that works in orders and invoices. So that was item number 3. Item number 4 is resetting. So that's basically undoing everything that we've done here. You can click on the 3 dot, set column position, and you can unlock. That will do them one by one. So it's moved the tax code back to where it regularly sits. Alternatively, we could then if we go to the, where is it? I've lost it now. I'm looking for a reset, which was there a few moments ago. It's always the way with doing it live. Let me see. I might need to come out and go back in again to get the reset function. But by clicking on that 3-dot assist button, what we should find is we have the reset, which isn't there. That's slightly annoying. We will have to log into that. That was there just before I came on, but oh well. Out of everything that we've covered this year, I think, oh, there we are, it's there. Reset. Just needed to wake itself up. So again, that was clicking on the 3-dot assist button. Reset is now there. So I think thing to remember, if you do have a little play with this, you might need to set your columns and then come out and go back in to get that reset option and maybe give it a few minutes. But if I reset, that resets everything back to how it should be. You would have noticed as well that we've got set column position, so you can move previous, move back. You can also choose which columns as well. So if there are columns that you don't necessarily want to see on there, you can remove those. So that was items 3 and 4. Item number 5 is duplicating an order line. So if I go into an existing order that has not yet been submitted, scroll to the very end of the line, I've got this 3-dot assist button. I can now duplicate, and that will copy the previous line for me. And you'll notice there's also a delete. So we can delete the line as well. So that's item number 5. Item number 6, just conscious of the time. Don't think I'm going to make my 12 minutes, but never mind. Item number 6 is documents and timeline. So if I go into a transaction, you'll be familiar with the documents and timeline. Previously, what it used to do is it would show you every single possible combination that it might go to depending on the coding, etc. And this will obviously cause a bit of confusion over the customer base. Is it going to go there? Is it not? So what they've done is they've changed the way that it appears. It now just shows you who is next. If you want to see all potential steps, the keyword being potential, you can click on view, excuse me, then it will open up and show you how it used to. But by default, it will now only show you who is next that it's going to. So hopefully that simplifies that a little bit for you. So that was number 6. Number 7 is the free type codes to restrict in the settings groups. So I'm going to jump into the admin and config side. And what we are going to do is go to layouts, choose a layout, and then within the security side, we are going to go into our group and we'll choose cost center. So obviously we can set a default. So that's the default value, so default cost center of 1, 2, etc. Or we could restrict values and we would go through and choose which values we want. Now, if you imagine you've got long lists of a lot of codes, that's quite tedious to have to go through. So what they've done now is they've added in this little button here where we can click onto here, and all we need to do is comma separated values. We can add in, so you can copy and paste, add in those codes, click on submit, and will automatically add those in for you. So it just speeds up the restrictions of codes to users. So that was number 7. Number 8 was the order creator now available to suppliers through integrated online buying. So as I said, unfortunately can't show that one, but know that the email address of the person who placed an order through integrated online buying will now be securely provided to the supplier with each order, giving them a point of contact for any queries or issues. Moving on, number 9, we have the turn off delivery date for the purchase order. So if I go to my configuration, ordering and matching, go to PO templates, choose my purchase order template. We now have this toggle switch, include delivery date. We've also got include order owner as well, which appeared a while back. So that's quite useful as well. So the person who created the requisition can now be included on there. So that was number 9. Number 10 is configure event rules. using date fields. So if I go to events and if I choose invoice credit notes and a transaction has been received by the system, apply custom rules, what we can now do is, as part of the fields where we can set, we've got the posting date, and we can now set posting date to be either today with a plus or minus, like so, or we can set the posting date to be the invoice date or set it to be the date that it was created. So this is for those who have the connectors where it is posting the posting date across into the finance platform. You can use an event to automatically set that for you through there. Number 11 is events and actions. So select a range of values to apply. So what this means is that with some of these items, you may, if you're familiar with these, you may remember that it was restricted to is equal to, not equal to, and what they've done is they've opened them up, so it's you can include is in range, is not in range, etc., etc. So it just gives you a lot more flexibility of the conditions that you can set. So rather, if it is this and this or that sort of thing. So that was number 11. And number 12, the final one, is the catalogs. So this is, again, very recent functionality. You'll notice through the admin and config side, there is the tile for catalogs where you can create a new catalog, pop in the name of the catalog, choose the supplier that the catalog is for, give it a description. And once that's done, you can add your items to the catalog. You can import them, and you can choose to overwrite what's currently in there. You'll notice there's an export function as well, or you can manually add new items and obviously choose what the cost is, etc., etc. Once the catalog's in there and you have saved it, you can obviously delete it if it's no longer needed, but once you've saved it, what that means, so I've created this catalog for supplier number 2. If I go to create a requisition for supplier number 2, choose my layout, test supplier number 2, and add a line. What you'll notice from the drop down, there is now add catalog lines. And if I choose that, it brings up the catalog for my supplier. I can choose which items, it's already got prices set, etc. I can add, and it will add those lines in automatically for me. Like so. You can go through and amend the values if there has been a price change, but it just helps you bring across that those items, especially things like item code and description, and then if there's any analysis on the catalog items as well, it obviously brings that through as well. And there we go. I made that just come up to 14 minutes, although to be fair, I did start the timer when I was still going through the list of what we're going to cover, so I'll take that as 12 minutes. But yes, that was the 12 items. As I said, no particular order, no particular reason, just because they look good to show, but the 12 new functions that have been added throughout this year. So let's get back to my slides and we will just have a look. So just before we jump into any questions, just wanted to quickly mention about the Compleat ecosystem. So it's our built-in supplier network that connects businesses with trusted providers across a huge range of industries. So whether you're looking for office supplies, financial solutions, or specialized services, the ecosystem makes it seamless to find, connect with, and buy from the best suppliers without all the usual hassle. And what you see here is just a small snapshot of the many suppliers that we have available through our platform. And obviously there's our kind suppliers, kind sponsors for this session, Brown's Books. And just to show you where that is, if I bring iCompleat back across, go back to the home page, and it is the banner sitting up at the top. Simply click onto that and that will take you into the ecosystem like so. Okay, so that just leaves me to see if there are any questions at all. So let me move over to my screen. Let's wait for my laptop to load up. And let's have a look. So I don't think we've got any questions in there, which is absolutely fine. Obviously, if you do think of any, sorry, I'm just trying to get my questions and answers to load up. Okay, so we've got one, we'd have an ongoing requirement to enter a negative value on an invoice. Can this be done? Depends which connector you are using, to be honest, because connectors like Sage don't allow negative values to go through. Best way to, I think best thing to do is give it a try, see if it posts across to the finance platform. If you do have any issues, if you could log that with support, they'll be able to give you a better indication on that one. But yeah, obviously, if apologies if your question hasn't come through, but what we like to try and do is at the end of these is kind of scoop up and see if any questions went in the wrong bucket, and we'll obviously try and reach out to get back to you with those answers. But thank you ever so much for attending. Obviously, if you've got any questions at all on anything or would like any help, there's our success team who can be contacted on success@Compleat Software, or you can connect with us on LinkedIn. And just leaves me to say thank you ever so much for joining us. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing